Well, what's going on, fellas? It's Jordan back today with another video. And in today's video, we're going to take a look at Chainlink and see what it's doing on the 4-hour, the daily, and the weekly time frame. It's actually dumping right now after a crazy run up yesterday. So we're going to jump right on into the video right now. Let's jump right on into the video. As we jump right on in to the 4-hour chart for Chainlink, as you guys can see, we're getting a rejection off this major level that we've had been forming some pretty much since back in August, right? We've had some major kind of support and resistances play out back here. We had resistance on it all the way back here. And now we're getting a massive rejection off the top of this once again, right? So look for a good sized pullback. I think Bitcoin's, this is going to be the pullback that is going to kind of propel us up to further, and it's kind of be a healthy pullback for Bitcoin and all the other altcoins alike, right? So look for a kind of a healthy pullback. I think we're, like I said in my previous videos, I think we're pretty much due for a very important pullback on the short-term time frames, right? So this is just a quick look at the 4-hour chart. Not much to say here other than us getting rejected at this major resistance line right here, guys. So right now we're going to switch on over to the daily chart, where we're going to spend a good amount of time talking about these two patterns that I see playing out, right? So we have this upward sloping channel on the 4-hour, which has been playing out so perfectly, right? You see we got in touches on the top of this all the way up, and we just got a nice wick to the top of it, and now we're getting rejected back down. And in the bottom, same thing. We've had 3 touches on the bottom. We didn't go all the way down here, but you guys can see we did kind of continue this pattern throughout here. And then on the flip side, right, you guys can see that upwards channel. We did have this downward sloping resistance line that we did break out of back on the 22nd of October, right? And we got rejected at the top of the channel, came back down, and we wicked back down and retested the top of this as resistance, right? Which is extremely bullish. And we got a nice pump out of it. Now, we got rejected almost at the same spot we were at right here, right? So, you know, we got rejected at the same spot we were just at, right? And you guys got to take a look and see that, you know, if we get rejected here and we continue lower and we make a lower low here, that's going to be extremely bearish. We want to stay in this pattern and this channel, which I think we will, honestly, because if we look at the bottom of this channel, we are at that's about 1040, or actually about 1030 if we go straight down from here. And I think that's a very likely place that we end up being when Bitcoin finally hits this next support, which we're going to look at later on in this video, right? So you guys can see at this channel here, about 1030 is the lowest I think we're going to go on this correction. Like I said, it all depends on what Bitcoin does at the end of the day. If Bitcoin pumps, we're going to see the altcoins pump. If Bitcoin drops, we're going to see the altcoins drop. You know, the election just coincided, right? Biden obviously won the election, and I think that's kind of having a negative effect on you know, the crypto market in general, right? So you know, that's just kind of my medium-term time frame here. We got to watch out what Bitcoin's doing in the short term. Obviously, Bitcoin's going to drop down the altcoins. So now we're going to jump into the meat and the potato, guys. The meat and potatoes, if I can talk, of the video, and that is the weekly chart for Chainlink. And as you guys can see, this is the most important line, which I've talked about in every single one of my Chainlink videos. It's just literally playing out so perfectly. You know, I've been talking about this line ever since we were back here, right? Back in like June of 2020, I've been talking about this line, and it's played out perfectly, right? Obviously, you got resistance on both the all-time highs, came up, got resistance on it again, ended up breaking through it, and now we've had support on this line all the way through there, right? And I think as long as we hold this purple line, that's going to be extremely bullish for me, right? And we're almost retesting the old all-time high without actually retesting the old all-time high, right? It's kind of weird to think about, but you know, it's the last couple times we actually came back down and retested the all-time high. This time we're just retesting the all-time high resistance line as support. You know, guys know that retesting old support, old resistance, as new support is the most bullish thing you can have in a bull run. And Chainlink has been doing that, you know, ever since, you know, about September, right? For almost 2 months now, right? We not 2 months, I'm getting ahead of myself, but almost about a month and a half, we've been grinding against this purple line, which is now support, right? And if, like I said, guys, on the weekly, we can come all the way down technically to about 980 and still be above that line. So we also have wicks below it, so don't be surprised if we do a quick wick below it and come right back up. But I don't think we're ever going to have a weekly close below 980. Now, guys, if we end up wicking below that within the next week because Bitcoin has a 25% correction, like I'm expecting it to have at some point before all-time high, you know, don't be surprised if we get a wick below this. But I'm pretty confident that we're not going to get a weekly close below it, right? You guys can see we've had 2 wicks below it, but then it comes right back up and it closes above it. Wick below it, close above it each time, right? So don't be afraid if it drops lower. It's not going to close lower, in my opinion. Just want to point that out to you guys. But that's kind of my analysis for Chainlink today, guys. We're going to take a quick look at Bitcoin here. And on the Bitcoin chart, same thing, guys. We're getting a drag down, right? Bitcoin is dragging the altcoins down, right? And I have 2 most, this is for the medium term, and I doesn't think we're going to just straight up drop to these support levels. But we could ping pong down here, and I think the 2 supports we have are at 13,800, the top of our range here that we were kind of consolidating at, where we had that ascending triangle kind of playing out like this. This is our resistance. We could confirm that as support and bounce up, or we could have a little bit of a dead cat bounce here, right, and then continue back down and actually ultimately retest this major kind of consolidation range at about 12,300 to 12,000, right? Somewhere in that range where we can get a bounce and then continue up. I think those are the 2 most, common scenarios. And I actually think we're going to end up doing, it's just hard for me to predict which one we're going to end up doing just because we've been so bullish for the past couple months that I won't be surprised if we just get a bounce off 13,800 and continue higher. Right, but I also wouldn't be surprised if we actually get a major correction, because that's what happened in the last bull market, right? I wouldn't be surprised if we got that major correction and then we actually went lower to about 12,300, and that would actually make sense. That would kind of complete our about 20 to 25% correction that I've been looking for before we hit all-time high. So either one of these 2 scenarios could be playing out. So take a look at that Bitcoin chart when you guys get a chance. But I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. I actually took a long walk today. It's like 75 degrees out up in New England right now. I guess you can say the middle of November, which is absolutely unheard of. It's usually like in the 30s and 40s right now. We actually had snow last week, and now it's like 75 degrees. It's absolutely crazy. But hope you guys are enjoying your weekend as well. I can't imagine how hot it is in other places of the country, or if you're in another country or whatever. But, to each their own. I will see you guys in tomorrow's video. Hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.